Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first edition of the Realm Toys here at the realmcast.com. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the hell is the Realm Toys? To that, I'm going to turn it to my partner in crime, George, and then give you a little history.
Well, you know, Chris, back when we first started the site, long before you were born,
Ooh, that was a
you
long
were
time.
still an inkling in your daddy's sack.
I know, tickle.
That's right. Basically, we started as the Realm Toys. The website was dedicated to that. When I originally started the site back in, Jeebus, man, it was 1998.
God, you're still doing HTML, aren't you? Hard stuff.
We were on, dude, I was on a 33.6 modem. That's how old it was.
Not even T1.
Most of you kids watching this won't even know what that is. But, man, there was a day where, internet sucked. But basically what it was the idea I had was, let me showcase the toys in my toy collection. But I couldn't afford a store to display them and do it. So I thought, well, the internet's a great way to do that. So I was cataloging my collection with photos, and I was putting up images of my collection. And so what you could do back then was, the thing I like to do was show you comparing, like, look at the Luke Skywalker re-release figure in 97 from the Star Wars
still
line.
Kenner?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then look at the one from the 1970s and 80s,
Yeah.
and compare the two. Look at the differences, how far we've come in articulation and sculpt and all that stuff. So that was what we were doing. We ended up veering away from that when we hit the depression of toys in the
early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, there was a dark age of
it was, man. I walked into a Toys R Us, Chris. I didn't want to spend any money. That was rare.
This was post McFarlane,
Yeah.
pre NECA, pre Mezco, right?
Yeah.
Before they really took off.
The Renaissance didn't happen again until Hasbro took over the Marvel license.
Yes,
that was when
like 2002, 2003.
Yeah. And so basically, the Realm Cast was born out of that, where we started covering more pop culture news and a lot less toys.
Yeah.
But we're back.
We're back.
Toys.
If you've listened to our podcast, which please do go and listen to our podcast. We have 2 of them up. Check them out. But we've been this is something we've been toying with, and no pun intended.
Yeah, totally.
So we've been feeling something missing from the site.
Yes.
And it's something that it's almost meta in its own way.
Yes,
the
sir.
fact that we're going back to the roots of the site. So we're gonna start out. This is gonna be maybe a bi-weekly bi-monthly segment, right?
We're gonna try to do one, hopefully every week. But in the meantime, until we set a schedule, probably every other week.
So yeah, it depends on what's out there available too.
Exactly.
So, and so this is one of actually 3 new toy review pieces we got coming up. So for this first one, I felt I needed to pick, and there's a reason, because there's a little movie coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I have been excited like a little schoolgirl for it. It's called, as you can see, it's called Pacific Rim. It's by one Guillermo del Toro.
That crazy Spanish bastard.
I love him.
NECA just felt that the stuff going on in this guy's head was worth banking on.
Well, you can mind you, they have the Hellboy license and the movie license, and they did a bang up job.
Yeah.
NECA is known for their quality. Now, this is I believe this line, this is the first wave we're looking at. They're trying something a little bit different, I think, because this is aimed at more mass market than anything else, because this is a huge summer movie. This is not like Hellboy, big. Pacific Rim, massive.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so if no one goes see it, man, this is a messed up world.
Well, it's that, you look at this toy line, right? NECA's a specialty toy company.
Yeah.
And you wonder, is this a line that's going to appeal to the mass market, or is it only going to appeal to that adult collector?
Yeah.
Now,
mind you, these figures we picked up from a collector's show. So
well, it's actually one of our sponsors, Chris.
Frank and Sons Collectibles.
The Frank and Son Collectible Show in Industry, California.
Oh, if you were in California, do check this place out. They have everything.
Yeah. You can find them online at frankandsonshow.com.
So, but if you can't go there, NECA is now selling them online. And you can also check. More than likely, I guarantee they're probably at Toys R Us right now as we speak, too.
I would think so, too. This close to the movie?
Yes.
It would only make sense.
So if you want to get your mass market out there, hit up maybe a Toys R Us. But before you do, the whole point of this new segment is to see whether or not to spend your hard-earned cash, like we foolishly have, on these figures. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the statistics of Wave 1 of the Pacific Rim figures by NECA. So we're going to start with the packaging. Now, like most of NECA's figures, especially their licensed figures, they've gone with the classic clamshell, full plastic, fairly sturdy too.
Yeah, I mean, for collectors who it's a while before I get to catalog stuff and really put it where it needs to go. So it's a big help for me as a collector if I can stack stuff.
Yeah,
especially knowing that the bubble won't crumple.
Yeah,
and NECA, they're definitely one for doing that.
Oh yeah, we've had actually not the same thing, but these figures have actually been stacked under a pile of books for the last week.
Yeah,
until we could get to this. So as you can see, they've held up fairly well.
Absolutely.
In the front we have the figures. We have Knifehead, Gypsy Danger, and Crimson Typhoon, the two Jaegers and the one Kaiju that they have offered in this line. I am assuming that there will be a second line, maybe closer to the movie comes out, but first they're giving us like the main big guys.
And I would hope so, because I mean, having the monsters is cool, right? But really, I can use any Godzilla monster to be the thing that these guys fight.
That's kind of the idea of the film. So
what I really would have loved to have seen is I don't know, maybe instead of a Wave 1 only having 3 figures, maybe having 5.
Two monsters,
two monsters, 3 robots. You took it right out of my head, man. And because really the robots is I mean, I'm going to watch this movie for the robots.
Yeah. Well, that's what all the promotion's been. It's mostly been the robots.
You're going for the monsters.
I'm going for the
first, then the robots, right?
And then the monster on robot action.
Right.
It's real hot too.
So it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good movie. And so far, for the first wave, I don't feel that NECA is disappointed. No. First of all, you gotta love their packaging, right? So like you said, the classic clamshell that's sealed all the way around. And the thing I've always loved about NECA that they do this is that it's a clear pack.
Yeah.
So you can really get a good look at the figure that you're picking up. They've always done a good job with the artwork that's in the background of the front of the package, and then the artwork on the back of the package. You get to see a nice detailed shot of the figure you're getting, a little bit of info on them, and then the 3 figures that are basically part of the entire wave that you can look at, so you can collect them all. Because like Pokemon, you got to catch them all.
Now, as for cost, relatively inexpensive for a collector's line. I paid about $15 a piece for these. I believe that's what suggested retail price is, from what I can see from NECA's website. So for
I think it's like $15.99.
$15.99, yeah. So depending on where your tax bracket is in whatever state you're in, if you're paying roughly about $17 a figure for these. But that being said, well worth the investment. We're going to show you why in a couple of minutes. But first, continuing on with the packaging, especially for a person like me, I've opened several of them, and this set though I had bought as a nice display set. I like to kind of tack up my figures on my wall and hang them in proud display for when everyone comes in and just takes a look and shakes their heads. It's like, why? I'm like, it's art. That's why.
Because it's the way every collector should have.
It's the way every collector should have.
If you can't afford display cases, then that's the next best thing.
Yep. So these will probably be going over my door. So when you walk in, you'll be like, oh, hey, look at that, Pacific Rim. So now, beautiful packaging. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the actual figures themselves. All right, the first figure we're going to look at open now is the title Jaeger, the main robot of the film, Gypsy Danger. This is the robot that's piloted by the dude from Sons of Anarchy.
That's right. This is a Redwood original right here, folks.
Now, as for the figure itself, it stands roughly about 7 inches. It's a fairly thick figure. It's, as you can see, she stands well. She probably weighs about about 1.5 pounds or so. As for that, it's got about 1, 2, 3. As for articulation,
I'm sorry. So it weighs 1.5 pounds?
I'm really bad at weight. I don't have a scale in front of me.
That's a heavy figure, man.
It's a heavy figure, yeah. So it's probably a couple of ounces. So
I'd say 6 to 8 ounces.
Yeah,
to be more accurate.
It's solid. That's the thing.
It is a solid figure.
It's a very solid figure.
Doesn't feel cheap and plasticky.
No, that's the thing. And this is, it feels like NECA is trying to actually do their version of an action figure. That's the beauty of it. It bends at the knees, legs. The feet have these tiny joints to if you want to tweak with the battle poses, also for standing. It stands fairly well. I've been playing with this thing, and I've had really no issues of it falling over. So the only issue I would have is the articulation in the shoulders. You can't really move them left to right. They can pretty much go up and down to an extent and do like a smash motion. The shoulders are kind of blocked by the shoulder padding right here. It's fairly detailed. The paint job is great, but when it comes to you want to smash a monster here or there, it kind of does limit it a little bit. Now that limitation is at the cost of the look of the figure, though, so it's not too bad. As for posing, pretty much as you can, from what I've seen in the trailers, the Jaeger pretty much does the pound smash move. As for the paint is fairly well done, wouldn't you say, George?
Sorry, because I was playing with the toy.
Yeah, I know.
But no, yeah, absolutely. The paint job is very well. For this scale, I wouldn't have expected that. But being that it is a specialty toy maker like NECA, they definitely did go through. I mean, unlike some of the toys like the Superman, Man of Steel toys that are horribly painted, this great detail in it. Really just glad that, all those little fine lines, the little, let's call them pinstripes or racing stripes on the Jaeger, came out really good. It's really one of those toys that, it takes me back to when the McFarlane toys first came out. And sure, they weren't the most posable toys,
but they look great.
God, they look beautiful.
So, all right. So that's Gypsy Danger, a great figure. Let's move into, let's try out one of the monsters now.